great researchers all over the world. This training is dedicated to those who subscribe to ChatGPT Plus, ChatGPT Pro under VERISTZON AI. This is the second edition of this particular training on conceptual review. The first edition was last week. You can check through your email for the link to access the first edition. The first edition is mostly the theoretical perspective where we check through what conceptual review is all about, how to identify the types and scope of conceptual reviews, understanding the roles of conceptual reviews, and step-by-step practical guidance to conduct a conceptual review. Then we also looked at common mistakes made during conceptual reviews. So this second edition of it, we will be focusing on how to use ChatGPT to review and write conceptual reviews. So you please pick up your seat and follow me carefully. My training is not theory based. We try as much as possible to make everything pure practical. So you follow me carefully, follow me step by step, and get to learn how you can actually use ChatGPT to do your literature review. And whenever you are following me, please do not be in a hurry. Though there is no hurry in life, but delay is also still dangerous. We try to balance the two. So let's go. The first thing I want us to do now is to come up with a topic. Let me first of all open a new Google sheet where we'll be doing our writing. If you have been following me for a while now, you know that most of my write-ups, I do them under Google Sheets. I hardly use MS Word, but that does not mean you cannot use MS Word for your own writing. So in case you do not know how to use Google Sheet, just check some of our past trainings. You will get to see how you can start using Google Sheet and Google Doc, Google Doc, and be able to do your writing. So this is a new Google Doc where I'll be writing. Let's title it practical training. Practical, or let's call it practical illustration. Illustration. Good. So before you write anything like literature review, there is always a topic you want to work on. Yeah, let's say the topic we are handling now. What topic should I go with? Okay, let's come up with a topic that can flow with anybody, whether you are in science, you are in art, wherever you are, you can flow. So let's look at effect of artificial intelligence. Effect of artificial intelligence on research quality in Africa. So please follow me carefully. And I do like to make this clearly in case you are a senior academic here, maybe you are a professor, you are a senior lecturer, whichever senior level you belong to, we are all together. In case at any point in time you notice maybe there is inconsistency in what I am dishing out here, we welcome criticism, constructive criticism. Just reach out to us via our email or via WhatsApp line. You can see the link in this comment section. You can even drop it in the comment section here better so that we can actually see your own perspective and be able to modify our next teachings so that we all will be in the same page. Knowledge is not residing in anybody. We are here to share together, learn from each other. So we'll be looking at effect of artificial intelligence on research quality in Africa. Say this is the topic you are working on and you want to come up with the research, with the conceptual review. The first thing to ask yourself now, what is the dependent variable here? The dependent variable in this study now, dependent variable in this study is research quality. This is the dependent variable. In case you do not actually understand what dependent variable and independent variable is all about, let me use simple analogy to explain this. You have a young baby in your house, like a small child in your house. As a small child, you expect that child to grow. However, the growth of that child is dependent on what that child eats. If you feed that child very well, that child will grow very well. That is to say, the growth of that child depends on whatever the child eats, being the food. So let's assume your research topic in that context is effect of food on the growth of child. You will see that the growth of the child is the dependent variable, depending on what? Depending on what the child is eating. Whenever you remember this simple analogy, you should be able to know what dependent and independent variable is all about. So here now, our independent variable in this topic we are working on is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence. So you please follow me carefully. I will make sure that everything is well simplified because this is practical illustration. Then now we have our dependent variable and our independent variable. Now in a simple study, a very simple study, you may just flow with this without breaking them down into proxies or whatever, but you still need to, especially in your discussion, bring up some proxies. But in a study where you have to itemize some specific variables, then you have to first of all ask yourself, what are the proxies of research quality? What are the proxies of artificial intelligence? Depending on the kind of analysis you actually want to do. Now, let's assume you want to apply multilinear regression in this case now. You will come up with one proxy for research quality and come up with several proxies for artificial intelligence. Now, how do you come up with these proxies without you stressing yourself too much? I will show you. Though it's not part of what we should be doing here, but you can't be able to do what we are about to do if you don't know what we are expected to do in this area now. So how do you come up with the proxies? Copy everything like this and go to ChatGPT. Let me go to ChatGPT. Please follow me carefully. It's very, very important. Follow me carefully. Do not be in a hurry. If you are in a hurry, it is an attack. Don't be in a hurry. Instead, paste this link somewhere, and whenever you are free, you come back to it. In as much as you have anything to do with academic research, whether you are a student, BSc, MSc, PhD, you really need to pay attention to what we are discussing at this point. If you are a lecturer, please, very, very important, pay attention to what we are discussing here. So let's go to ChatGPT and see how we can actually come up with proxies without stressing ourselves before we now move straight to the conceptual review using ChatGPT. Now, all you need to do is once you are under ChatGPT here, whether Plus, Pro, or whatever, paste whatever we copied from the other side and give it a simple instruction. A simple instruction like list 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 two most suitable proxy for the dependent variable and four most suitable proxy for independent variable. So once you have it like this, just a simple prompt like this, a simple instruction given to ChatGPT like this. If you have not gotten our second edition of artificial intelligence handbook, please try and get it. Let me see whether we have any copy here. so that you will see it. This is it here. This is the second edition of Artificial Intelligence Handbook for Researchers. This book contains everything you need to know about using artificial intelligence to write your research papers. We also have the practical training version of it. You understand? So that is by the way. So let's send it now and see the proxies that ChatGPT will give to us. Now, when I'm writing, I may not be interested in the explanation. I just want to see the list first of all. I will say, give me the list only. I want to see the list before I will know whether it's very important before I will now proceed to learning more about them. Give me the list or just list only. List only. Good. Now, look at my screen. As simple as this, dependent variable, publication output and impact. Then the second one, research, innovation, and relevance. Then when it comes to independent variable, artificial intelligence, we have this AI tools, adoption, AI research. Now, let's assume you want to design your specific objectives. This is what you will now use if after certification and you are okay with it. You understand? We can still modify, but this is not the scope we are discussing today. We'll still have another section to discuss this, or you go and enroll for our AI practical training for researchers. It is just 10,000 naira. You will see everything you need to do, everything. So now what we need to do is, let's assume this is what we want to work with now. So let's copy everything here and go back to our practical illustration. Good. And paste it. Like I said, I'm not going in details here because that is not the scope we are focusing on today. That is not the scope. Good. Now, you are now trying to start the conceptual review. Conceptual review is one aspect of everything you need to do in the literature review. So let's assume this is our conceptual review. Let's title it conceptual review. Good. Please follow me carefully. Don't be in a hurry. Conceptual review. Let's say this is 2.2 points. Good. Then we'll now have 2.1. Some researchers will say start with dependent variable. Some others will say start with independent variable. What I like to do is to start with the dependent variable. When I start with the dependent variable, I'll now move to the independent variable. So what is my dependent variable here now? My dependent variable is research quality. Let me first of all lay the structure before we now start at the necessary thing. This is research quality. Then I will now have 2.1.1. Depending on the numbering, please, whenever you are numbering, visit the template you are working with. It is very, very important. I do emphasize on template. Visit the template you are working with. Then 2.1.1. Okay, let's assume you are working under full literature review. Then conceptual review will definitely be 2.1. Then the first concept will be 2.1.1. Then now the sub concept will now be 2.1.1.1, which is publication output. We may remove impact. Let's put it publication output. It's not must that you will use this one. We are just using this as illustration. Good. Then the next one will be research innovation. Good. Which is 2.1.1.2 is research innovation. And the next one now will be 2.1.2. We are now under what? The independent variable. Independent variable. Then we now have 2.1.2.1. Depending on your template. Go and see your template to see how they want you to report your research. There is no globally defined method. Every school has their own template. Every publisher has a template. Every researcher can come up with his or her own template. If you are a lecturer, the best thing you will do for your students when you are supervising them is to give them either the approved template from the school authority or the one you have developed. That will help you not to be pushing the students here and there. You understand? Get them a template. You can reach out to me, I can develop a template for you, but you will pay. Next one, 2.1 point, this is the first proxy. Then the next one will be 2.1 point and everything. Bring the second one. I'm trying to lay the structure before we now move into the writing properly. Good. Then let's stop here and use. So we can decide to clean this one because it's not part of what will be in chapter 2. This is the structure we need. Good. This is our conceptual review. This is how we need it. Now, the next thing we need to do now is to now pick them one after the other. One after the other. Now, in the last class, I made it clear that when you are talking about conceptual review, we have different types. And you should be sure of the type you are working with or the type your students or your supervisees are working with. That will really help you not to mark them down when you are not supposed to mark them down. So in there we have standalone conceptual review, integrated conceptual review, and other ones. They all have what they all represent. So the kind of conceptual review we want to work with here is such conceptual review that focuses on the definition of the concept, the meaning of the concept, what the concept is all about, according to other researchers. We are trying to give meaning to this conceptual review in line with the perspective, opinion, and findings of other researchers in the past. So what we do now is we pick this first one, being the research quality. And our research quality now, we are limiting it to publication output and research innovation. We also pick artificial intelligence, and we are limiting it to AI research funding and investment. Okay, this one, we repeated this one. Sorry, we repeated this one. Let's go back to ChatGPT and bring up another one. Good. We have AI to an adoption. Follow me carefully, please. So we replace this one like this so that we are working with two. Good. Whether you are to work with two measures of your dependent variable or one measure of the dependent variable depends on the kind of analysis you want to do and depending on whether your study is empirical or theoretical. Research, the moment you come up with that topic, everything you are doing in that research must link together to the end of your paper. Very, very important. Research writing is not the same thing as book writing. Unfortunately, what most people present as research paper is just a book. Shouldn't be so. There should be link. Everything must be linked. If you do number one before you do number two, there should be a link between them. Well-defined length, and that is by the way. So the next thing now is to start the writing. We want to actually write the research quality. We pick this research quality and go to ChatGPT. Here is ChatGPT. We'll now paste. Come up with instruction. I will always emphasize, please try and get this book. It's 10,000, or you enroll for the practical training. The training is also 10,000. It will help you master the various prompt instructions you will need to give to ChatGPT and how you are to handle every sections of your research. Now let's give it a simple instruction like write the conceptual review of research quality. Good. Discuss the definition in line with the opinion and perspectives of other researchers. Include necessary include citations and include citations using include citation using a per seventh edition style. Your own may not be a per seventh edition. Your own can be any other style. So you put it there so that ChatGPT will actually work with that. A per seventh edition style. Write 5 paragraphs only. Define the number of paragraphs you want. Very, very important. Do not include bullet points and outlines. Use paragraph style. I just want everything to be in paragraph. You don't start numbering or you understand me now. Paragraph style. Okay. Use paragraph style. What else do we need to include? For now, there is nothing else we need to include. Okay. Make sure the in-text citations are from verifiable journals available online. Include the references at the end. Ensure I can download the papers through the DOI. Write a very robust conceptual review. So once you are done giving ChatGPT the instruction based on how you want that conceptual review to be, now pay attention. Don't just rush and click send. You can decide to use an option in ChatGPT called deep research. How do you see this deep research? See it here. When you click this plus here, this plus sign, check my mouse, my cursor. See, all these options will show. Click this deep research. Deep research will help to fetch out quality content from top journals. However, when you are using deep research, sometimes it may have to take time. It may take 5 minutes, it may take 10 minutes, depending on, and sometimes deep research is not always active. If you have overused a particular chat GPT, then that deep research may not be functioning at that point in time. We won't be using it here, but okay, let me open another chat GPT so that you will see how it goes. Why we send this one? Let's send this one. It will be writing. Then I open another chat GPT here and let's try the deep research while the other one is writing. This one is already done. Should be done by now. Follow me carefully. My network can be delaying sometimes. Follow me carefully. I am with you. Let's wait for the network to come up. Follow me carefully. Okay, let's use the one for deep research and click the plus. Just follow me carefully. The network is a bit slow. Let's click the deep research now and let's send it. Now, when you are using the deep research, if it actually works very well, the first time you are sending the deep research, it will come up with instruction like, are you focusing? It will come up with to verify your perspective, to be very, very sure of what you want. It will come up with something like this, like it say, are you focusing on research quality in specific discipline? Here now, there is no any discipline we are focusing on. I want it to be general across discipline. I can just copy this one. I will say number one, depending on how you want your own to be, general across discipline. Then number two, because you two questions were raised. Are you looking for a particular regional or institutional perspective? I want it to be global or global. Number two, I want it to global. So answer the questions. Once you are done answering the questions, you click enter. Your writing will start. But this one will take a bit time. You can see it will load all the way from here till the end here before it will bring you what you want. But unlike the other one is just once you send it, in as much the network is up, you can see. Let's just hold on, let it pop up. This is the exact one we want to see. Or let me refresh this page. Network can be very bad sometimes. Network. Hold on, you can see. Wait. This one, you can see this one, the one for deep research is still writing. But the other one, I don't know what happened to the network. We made it not to show. The other one doesn't waste time at all. Possibly we can just try opening a new ChatGPT section. Let's open a new ChatGPT section and be able to trace what we have there. This one is still the one for deep research. You can see it's still going. We are trying to find out what happened to the other one, which is network. I know. Let's try open a new ChatGPT section. And let's bring up our instruction here. The instruction we gave. So let's resubmit that instruction again and click send. Let's wait for it. So this one is not the one for deep research. The moment you enter it, it will just think for some time and get you the feedback. So you just wait for this one. This one will not take time at all. Unlike the one for deep research. Mm. So just be patient. The network is a bit down this moment. Network is a bit down. Right, this one is already writing. You can see, with the in-text citations and everything. So once it's done writing, all you just need to do is to copy everything, copy it from here. Just bear with me, the network is a bit slow. Copy everything with the references. And please verify the references. Sometimes it may not be correct. Verify, click the link there to be sure that it's correct. If it's not correct, you will know that it's not correct. Then if it's correct, you will actually see that it's correct. For instance, now this one is correct. It will open now. It will open. Just hold on. You can see this is this particular paper now. This one is correct. You can actually download this paper from the PDF here. You can see it's correct. So um you take everything to your paper under the research quality, paste it there. Yeah, paste everything there. Then take the reference to where it should be. Reference to where it should be. Reference should be at the ending part. You understand? You can structure it in line with upper style and make sure you remove unnecessary details here. Remove unnecessary details. You can see, remove it. Then format it clearly. Format your paper. See? So I want to put it in font 12. This one you can do this one. So just font 12. Let me use Times New Roman. So with this now, I am done with this particular concept. Research quality is best understood as a multi-dimensional construct that combines methodological rigor, blah blah blah, and blah. You can see all the in-text citations. Then when you are done, repeat the same thing here, repeat the same thing here, repeat the same thing, repeat the same approach, repeat the same approach for all the concepts. For all the concepts. Repeat. Now, when you are done, remember I say depending on the type of conceptual review you are doing, go back to the last section and see the various types and be able to know how to tailor the instruction you'll be giving to ChatGPT so that it will align with the type of conceptual review you are doing. Now, when you are done with that, the next thing will be the conceptual framework. In the next training, we will do the conceptual framework. You will get to learn how to actually link all these things together in a conceptual framework and show the diagram. I want to believe that you have been able to grab 1 or 2 points from this training. All you need to do is to stay tuned, stay connected, follow us, and please, if you have not subscribed to, if you have not renewed your ChatGPT for the next subscription, whether plus or pro, kindly do that so that you will not be pulled out of the platform. Thank you so much. Let's keep building capacity together. One love.